You ever gone to a resort and it had a legendary name and you book it and you get there and you're like, a hotel or a resort, and you're like, ugh, they didn't stay current. You ever go to a restaurant? You go to a town you haven't been in for a long time. Could be San Antonio, could be New Orleans, could be Minneapolis. Oh, that's a great steakhouse. You go there and you're like, oh, they didn't stay current. Especially now, everything's changing. Everything these days, everybody is much more mobile, and there's so many smart people out there. So we had this story yesterday. The Cowboys got flexed off of Sunday Night Football. First time since 2006. First of all, for Dak, because Jerry's really at his heart a businessman. Through all of his turmoil, still America's team. This ticks off Jerry Jones more than losing. This is great for Dak. Dak makes you relevant. Dak's a topic on Monday. Always. Even when you lose with Dak, they score a bunch of points. They don't flex you out with Dak. So this just guarantees Dak's the future, right? So I just want you to think about, I'm going to ask you a question, because I do believe, and it's one of the things my wife's really good at, stay current. Don't cling to things. Don't have a legacy based on yesteryear, okay? So Dallas hasn't been to an NFC championship game in 25 years. That was Troy Aikman, right? So 25 years. That's the longest drought in the NFC, except Detroit and Washington. So let me just ask you a question. And I want you to think about this. So the Cowboys they've won since 1995. 4 total playoff games. Like wild card games. That's it. Carolina in 25 years has won 9. The Jags have won more. The Jets have won more. The Jets have been to 2 AFC championships. Crazy hot mess. Atlanta's won more. Okay. So let's do a process of elimination. Let me ask you this. So let's put together the franchises. We'll call it kind of the gold standard of the NFL, where we consider the elite franchises. They not only win, they win big games. They're mostly consistent. You just say them and you respect their front office. There's a consistency and excellence and intelligence. They don't overpay for players that often. I think you'd go Packers, Steelers, Ravens, Patriots, Seahawks, Saints. Denver's down now, but the Bolin family was remarkable. I always called Denver the Steelers with a mountain range for a long time. They're just having a down stretch. The Eagles, the Giants, the Chiefs, and the Colts. These are really the elite franchises. Excellence, intelligence. They usually don't overpay. They've had downturns, but they bounce back. Then the second level would be respected. They don't have as many big wins. They've had longer droughts, but I'd say Niners, Vikings, Titans, Atlanta, Rams, and Carolina. Now, I know what you're saying. I mean, the Titans really. All right, I want you to think about the Titans for a second. Let's just think about the Titans, because I know you're rolling your eyes at the Titans. The Titans have a Super Bowl appearance. Dallas doesn't. Beyond that, 2 other conference championships within 25 years. Dallas doesn't. And they have double the playoff wins. Okay, what about hot, crazy Atlanta? 25 years. 2 Super Bowls. 8 playoff wins. Hell, they've won 4 playoff games since 2012. This morning, the Cowboys are in last place. Since 2015, they were also in last place. So in the last 5 years, they have 1 playoff win and 2 last place finishes. You are, my friends, who you hang out with. The third category of NFL teams is what I would call the eye roll teams. Overpay, even like some of them playing well now. It's Dallas, it's Arizona, Jets, Cleveland, Chicago, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Tampa, Chargers, Houston, Cincinnati, Raiders, Dolphins. They turn wins into losses. Last 25 years, longer droughts, a lot of embarrassment, too much drama, and just not winning big games. Just not winning big games. Kind of if they make the playoffs, it's one and done. Always have a new coach on the way. You never really think they get the coach right in most instances. It's kind of the eye roll. Dallas is there now. Last 25 years. Dallas has not stayed current. They overpay for running backs. They sign these long contracts to offensive linemen they now can't get out of, and they're old and injured. They spend way too much money on perimeter players sometimes, and not enough on like their defensive front. They take gambles in the draft that other really well-run teams don't. Sometimes they develop players. A lot of times, though, the Steelers, Packers do. The Cowboys don't develop their players. The Cowboys on their Instagram put a picture of themselves at 25. They were hunks. They're now like 50. They're overweight. They're trying to fool everybody. This isn't a shot at Dallas. 25 years. You're the Lions. You're Washington with a bigger brand. You're the resort that people still think about, but you book a weekend there, you go with your wife, and you're like, man, the paint's peeling, the food's not very good, and you look out your window in Miami, and you're like, we should have stayed at that place. It's way more current. They got a better pool. It's where all the cool people are. It's not a shot at Dallas, but they're kind of in the eye roll. They're kind of in the eye roll club now. You kind of look at them and go, yeah, it's Cincinnati. It's Buffalo. It's Miami. And by the way, I think Buffalo and Miami over the next 10 years are going to move into the next level. I'm not going to give it to them now, but I think they're really close. But, I mean, last 25 years, Miami, you roll your eyes. You roll your eyes at the Jets. They got more playoff wins. So ESPN ranks top 10 players in the NBA. So do we have a list of top 10? So they have LeBron 1 for our radio audience, Anthony Davis 2, Giannis 3, Luka Doncic, terrific young player 4, Kawhi Leonard 5. That feels a little low to me. Kevin Durant 6, off an injury. Damian Lillard 7, 8 for Steph Curry. 9 is James Harden, and 10 Jokic for Denver. So I just want you to think about this. We know LeBron's the best player. The gap is now widening. LeBron is in his 18th year. Michael Jordan played 15 years, then quit. LeBron's in his 18th year and is still the best, and I think the gap is widening. So let's look at this list now. So the number 2 guy, put it up again. The number 2 guy, Anthony Davis, could not win a playoff series of note without LeBron. The number 3 guy has struggled in the playoffs. The number 4 guy is a defensive liability, made his first playoffs, Luka, and one and done. And then you've got bad chemistry guy, Kawhi, always hurt Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, 6 and 8 are always hurt. Damian Lillard, who I love, had a losing record. James Harden's a weirdo, and Jokic is not close to LeBron. This list is a list of can't win in the playoffs, bad for team chemistry, odd for personality, can't stay healthy, and LeBron. That's the list. That is the. I would make an argument. Luka, with about a year, could be 2. But folks, that list is a health list, a chemistry problem list, kind of an odd personality list, a bad playoff history list, and LeBron. And I know, Michael Jordan played college basketball. You can't say he was done it 15 years and LeBron 18. Yeah, those daunting college basketball years where Michael played against college stiffs 35 games a year. Like, Michael at the end was not as vertical a player. LeBron, going into year 18, the second best player on this league now is Anthony Davis. And I think most of you would argue that point. You're arguing too. He was invisible in New Orleans. But with LeBron, I just wrote it down. Health, A. Leadership, A. Maturity, A. Clutch, A. Experience, A. Works well with others, A. I mean, the gap is just gigantic. And I like the other players. I think Kawhi's a little low. I'd have Kawhi in my top 3. Get a basket, get a stop. He's got a quirky personality. That part I'm not going to deny. But get a basket, get a stop. I think Kawhi's in my top 3. I'd take Kawhi over Luka today just because I think he's a significantly better defender. And I think he's been in big spots and won championships in games 5, 6, and 7 in the finals. And I think there's incredible value to that. But, wow. You can start looking at that list. It is a lot of wow and a lot of holes and a lot of issues, except LeBron. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.